So, recently the UFC currently announced that UFC 325 is going to be in Sydney, Australia, headlined by Volk. And I thought, man, there's some really good fights that are coming up. There's a few fighters that can't currently fight that are Australian, like Bobby Knuckles or Jacob Malkoon, who hasn't fought in like a year and a half. I think Casey O'Neill's out as well. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I think this is the first time making one of these videos. So I, King Hit MMA, have decided to make the fights for UFC 325. So yeah, we're going to get right into it. And before I do get into it, some of these fighters aren't in the UFC yet. So, for example, the first two fights will be regional guys. Well, actually, there will be Dana White Contender Series guy and a regional guy. So yeah, let's get right into it. And for the first fight, Mark Voglin and Gasib Murdoch. Gasib's a Kiwi New Zealander who trains out of Volk's gym. He's a 7-0 undefeated. You know, he's the Hex Bantamweight champ and he's looked super impressive as of late. And I think he should debut in the UFC. I think he's looked really impressive. He's one of these up and coming contenders in the Oceania region. And Mark Vogdelin, he had one of the best fights of the year on Dana White's Contender Series. I think he just he went to war with I can't remember the guy's name, but yeah, this would be an awesome fight to start off the card with, like a regional guy in Kasib who goes to war every time, and Mark Vogdelin, who needs to start to make his debut in the UFC. And if example Kasib pulls out, you could have someone like Cody Haddon come in. There's a few other bantamweights that could come in. I didn't put Cody Haddon on here, I forgot, but I digress. But yeah, I think this would be a good matchup. And for the next fight, George Mangos versus Ramiro Jimenez. Now, George Mangos, he's super young. I think he's 22 years of age. He's just taken out nearly every featherweight in Australia. He's taken out all the best featherweights. He did go on the Dana White's Contender Series and unfortunately couldn't get going until the third round. While Ramiro Jimenez, he's was on the Dana White Contender Series and was very successful. And these are both really super impressive guys. George Mangos recently just KO'd Justin Van Heerden, who's impressive in his own right. George Mangos has been shouting out for the Dana White Contender Series or the February card. So I think this would be a good fight. Also, one's from Dana White Contender Series and he needs to fight soon, and George Mangos is calling back for the UFC. So I think this is, you know who George Mangos is. That's elite ball knowledge. But yeah, let's get to the first fight. Anyway, on to the next fight. Brendo Pericic and Josh Hokett. Brendo Pericic made his UFC debut at the start of the Perth card this year. He knocked out Elijah Ellison, if I'm not mistaken, in the first round brutally, and he looked really impressive. He's out of CKB. He's really athletic and real fast for a heavyweight. And I think a fight against Josh Hokett, who just brutally knocked out Max Jimenez, a grappler. I think Josh Hokett himself needs a striker that's going to, challenge him. And I think Brendo Pericic is that perfect heavyweight to do that. I don't think Josh Hokett needs a super step up. I think you got to build Josh Hokett perfectly. But, if Josh Hokett loses to Brendo Pericic, you've got Brendo Pericic, who's super impressive himself. So, yeah, this is an awesome heavyweight fight between the two of these guys. And I'd be excited if they do have these two fighting. But, yeah, I do want to see Brendo Pericic on this card. For the next fight, Colby Thickness versus Carlos Ferreira. Colby Thickness is like a direct teammate to Volk. He won on the Perth card recently by unanimous decision over Josias Musasa. And Carlos Vera's last win was Josias Musasa by submission in more impressive fashion. Colby's been calling out Carlos Vera for a while now. And, they both grapplers with a real awkward sort of striking style. And Colby's been wanting to get on the February card with Volk. I've heard rumours he could be injured. Another reason why Cody Haddon could... There's a few bantamweights that, like, Cody Haddon could still come and replace him. But yeah, this would be a good fight. I think Colby needs to prove himself again to really, like, cement himself in the bantamweight division. And Carlos Vera, needs just to get another fight in. And they've both beaten, like, the same opponent. So I think that's a very smart matchup. So yeah, I'd say book it. And for the next fight, Marwan Rahiki versus John Yanis. Marwan Rahiki had a insane fight where I'm shocked that it didn't get stopped on the Dana White Contender Series. He was on the last episode of the Contender Series this year. It was super impressive. He got dropped multiple times, hurt multiple times, and he came back in the second round and knocked out the guy from the Congo. And John Yanis, he's just gotten his first win, I'm pretty sure, in the UFC. It could be a loss, but pretty sure he just got his first win in the UFC. They're both featherweights. I think that this makes sense. Marwan Rahiki shouldn't get anyone super up in the featherweight rankings. I think he needs to fight someone that's, around his level. He looked awkward in the grappling, and John Yanis is a good grappler. So yeah, I think that's a good fight to make. And they'll want Marwan on the card anyway, so I think that's very smart to do. So yeah, on to the next. Khan Offley versus Steve, you know what I'm saying. So Khan Offley just had a unanimous decision over, I can't remember his name, and Steve Nguyen had a KO over, his opponent. I can't remember. They both had fights long ago. But, they're both featherweights in the middle rankings. They've had some good fights with some good contenders. Stephen Nguyen, this would be his second fight, and Khan Offley's a Aussie local. Khan Offley also was, a tough finalist. I think he failed to win tough, so yeah. But I think this would be a good fight. I just added this one in more because of Khan Offley has said he wants to be on the card, so I think we book this, or you put Khan Offley against another featherweight contender. Jamie Mullarkey versus Charlie Campbell. Charlie Campbell... I forgot to put Tom on. I'm not redoing this. Jamie Mullarkey, he looked real good against Rodolfo. Well, I was about to say Rodolfo Bellato, but against his last opponent, he gassed out in that third round. But besides that, he looked real good. He doesn't need too much of a step up. I think he needs to fight someone around Charlie Campbell's level who lost to Tom the Train Nolan, Big Train Nolan. Charlie Campbell was tagging up Nolan quite a bit. And, I was going to say, if Jamie pulls out, you could put Nolan, but Tom Nolan just beat Charlie Campbell. Charlie Campbell will want to be getting that win back. So, yeah, I think this is a good fight to make. I did hear rumours that Tom Nolan was injured. I think that's why I didn't put him on initially. But, yeah. On to the next. Cam Roston versus Roman Kopylov. I thought this was a banger fight to make. I made this fight ages ago. I think when Roman Kopylov, UFC 322, I made this fight. I think Roman Kopylov, if he can recover real quickly, I think he should fight Cam Roston. It's a nice step down instead of going into the fringe top 20. Cam Roston's a dangerous striker, and he's not going to get you to the ground. He's quick. He's very gangly. This would be a good fight to be a sniper versus a brawler. I always love those matchups, and I think Cam Roston needs that little step up, and Roman Kopylov needs that step down. So yeah, this is a good fight. Navajo Sterling versus Zhang Ming Yang. Now, I made this matchup because Navajo Sterling's actually 3-0 in the light heavyweight division, and usually you're going to get fringe of top 20. And I decided Zhang Ming Yang, he got his step up already against Johnny Walker. He got TKO'd in the second round. Navajo's an undefeated fighter from New Zealand, and he's really good. He hasn't performed crazy good, like he's been lackluster, but Zhang Mingyang always brings a fight. He needs that step down from Johnny Walker, so I think Navajo Sterling's the perfect guy to put him against, and this will be a banger fight. Zhang's gonna bring the heat, and Navajo's gonna have to get in a bit of a dogfight. So yeah, I think this is a good fight to make. Oh shit! And the next fight, this would be the start of the main card, I reckon. Quaylen Salkild versus Mauricio Rufy. I've been hearing rumors of Quaylen versus Mauricio. I've been hearing rumors of Quaylen versus Beneil, but if I was to make the fight, I heard Quaylen was injured, but now I'm hearing he's going to be on the UFC 325 card. I don't know, it's just rumors. But for Quaylen Salkild, man, he's just looked super impressive. Like, he's fought three apps. He fought Anshu Jubilee, knocked him out. He fought Anshaw Jubilee and knocked him out. Then he unanimous Ajmuz, and then he had got that brutal he owns a bakery knockout over Hasbrat, who was fringe of top 20. I don't think he should be getting a ranking spot yet. I think he should fight someone else in the fringe of top 20 of Mauricio Rufy. Mauricio Rufy needs a step down. He just lost a BSD by a submission. He got dominated in that fight, and we saw that Quaylen Salkild has got awesome takedown. Now, he couldn't get Hasparat down, but I'm assuming that Rufy is that step down in grappling, but this would be a banger striking matchup. So yeah, I'd really love to see this if Quaylen is on the card. Anyway, that's that. Very long with that one. Oh, what's going on? Okay, fight Jimmy Crute versus Dustin Jacoby. Now this is confirmed. Being Crute, best buds outside of this. No, but this is a confirmed fight for UFC. I get confused. 325. Jimmy Crute has gotten 2 submission wins in his last 2 wins. He's been using his grappling, which I really like. We don't have any grapplers in the light heavyweight division, and Dustin Jacoby just knocked out friggin' Vitor Petrino, who's an absolute monster. The question is, can Dustin Jacoby keep it on the feet, being the kickboxer, and can Jimmy Crute get him down? This is a really good matchup. They're both fringe top 20 of light heavyweight. Whoever wins this is going to get a jump up into the rankings, I reckon. So this is a good fight made by the UFC. So yeah, I'm really excited for this fight. This is confirmed, by the way. Have my sources, So yeah. And for the next fight, we have Steve Erceg versus Tim Elliott. I think this is a good fight as well, because Tim Elliott just beat Kai Asakura, a big up-and-comer, who failed for the title shot. And then Asakura did look half decent on the feet, but he just struggled in the grappling, and Tim Elliott, being the crafty vet he is, he got him down and then got submission, which was crazy. And Steve Erceg, he's had a rough go of it. He fought for the title against Pantoja, made it really close. Fought, God, he just left the rankings. I can't think of his name. Kai Kara France, he got knocked out by him. Kai Kara France is a really good striker. And then he got a decision by Moreno. He just didn't put his pedal to the metal. And in his most recent fight, he had a pretty close fight with O'Day Osborne, which it's not that great of a look getting to a close fight with O'Day, but I digress. I think this is a good fight for the both of them, because whoever wins this gets the fight. They get to fight up in the rankings again, maybe top 8 to top 4. I'd like to see them fight. And, they both need that, middle ranking sort of fight for the both of them. So, yeah, I think this is a good fight. I think Steve Erceg, they both need this fight. So, yeah. On to the next fight, Tai Tuivasa. I had a lot of matchups for Ty. I had Teixeira, I had Pinto, I had I had a lot for Ty. I had a lot of these like I even had some more garbage matchups, but for the UFC, the smartest matchup I reckon would probably be Tai Tuivasa versus Mick Parkin. Now, this is my reasoning. For one thing, Tai Tuivasa is on a 5-fight losing streak, so he has to fight down the rankings anyway. He shouldn't be fighting up or down. There was one more fight I did like for Tai. It was probably Shamil, but I don't know if Shamil's going to come back off that brutal loss to Waldo Cortez Acosta. But here's my reasoning: Tai needs to fight down. Mick Parkin's only one ranking down, and if Tai Tuivasa can't knock out Mick Parkin, he's officially washed. He should be cut from the UFC. And what I've seen from Tai recently, he's looked real, like, he's back in training. He's getting ready for UFC 235. They're trying to find a fight for him. I do hope it's someone like a Mick Parkin. I don't really want to see him fight a Mario Pinto or a real up-and-coming heavyweight. I did think about putting Walter Walker on, but that'd be sad just to see Tai tap to a fucking heel hook. But yeah, I think this would be a good fight. They're both... Mick Parkin's a bit of a smudger, but yeah, I digress. And for what I think should be the co-main event, Israel Adesanya versus Reina de Ridder. The only reason I didn't put a title fight, because I could obviously see Merab fighting, depends how the fight goes this weekend. I think Israel Adesanya needs to fight down, because Israel's only lost to the top contenders of middleweight. Lost to Dricus du Plessis for a title shot. He lost to Sean Strickland, top contender, for a title shot. Lost to Imavov by KO. They're all top, either champions or the top contenders. And there's nothing wrong in that loss. While Reina de Ridder, but Israel needs that step down. While Reina de Ridder, he just quit on the stool. Like, there was no, opposable damage that we saw that Reina de Ridder... My brain's screwing me up. But we didn't see any opposable damage that, happened to de Ridder. We got to see that if he's capable of getting into that fight. And if he beats Israel Adesanya, that's a big name. People have been wanting this matchup since he became the champ of one. So I think this is a great matchup because it's plausible. It's been wanted before. It's not. I don't think it's still too late. I think it's in a perfect time of both their careers. They're both losses. I think we book this for co-main. And finally, for the main event, Anyway, I think we book this. This is the perfect matchmaking. I don't think Israel should fight Sean Strickland. I don't think he should fight Cal Bahalio. I think he should fight Reina de Ridder. They're both kickboxers. I think it's perfect. Now, on to the main event. Volk versus Diego 2. Now, I've already ranted about how much I hate this matchup. Not for Volk's sake, it's for Volk's legacy. It does nothing for Volk's legacy. It does nothing to help him. It's a lose-lose situation for Volk. We've already gone over this 100 times, and nearly every other YouTuber, Instagrammer, TikToker has gone over how bad shit this is. But I digress. We know this is the main event. How do I think it's going to go overall? I think Alex is going to do something very similar again. I think he's going to go for a more grapple-heavy game this time because that was working in the first fight, especially in the earlier rounds. I think it's going to be a decision by Volk again, a little bit more dominant. Even though Diego Lopez was in a super impressive performance against João Silva, I think Volk's just too crafty and... I think he's just got still it's only been a year, for fuck's sake. It's only been not even a year, and these guys are going to fight again. So, yeah, I think Volk is going to beat Diego Lopez by decision again, and I think Volk should hang up the gloves. Even though, yes, maybe he should fight Mozart Lerone just to extend that legacy, but it is picture perfect in Sydney, win or lose. He puts down his gloves one more time and fights for the UFC title. Anyway, that's the dream card that I've ripped up. Now I'm gonna explain what a few of these fights. Example, I didn't put Cody Haddon on. I actually forgot about him. That was the main reason. I didn't put Robert Whitaker for one thing. Rob's said he ain't fighting in February, so he's not in it. Jack Jenkins, I'm pretty sure he's injured. He said he was injured, so he's not fighting. Casey O'Neill, she hasn't been fighting real recent, so I haven't put her down. And what's his name? And Jacob Malkoon's another one I decided not to put down because he's not fighting. He's not been fighting recently either. But yeah, guys, I've been seeing that a lot of you have been coming on my videos, and I really do appreciate it. You have no idea, man. I do like doing this. I do love that people are watching this, watching me in the fucking water. Just waiting for yous to come and come and swim. But yeah, man. You know me. If you like the video, please like and subscribe, and please give a sub. I'd appreciate a sub. I just want that little sub. Am I asking for a subscribe for any of you guys that watched the whole video? But yeah, guys, thanks for watching the whole video. I hope you liked it. It was different. And yeah, see ya.